Few people are aware that Faye Dunaway, a well-known figure in Hollywood, has a challenging personality. She was once scathingly called the worst person she had ever worked with by B. Davis. Why did a legend like Dunaway turn into such a horrible person? In this exclusive movie, we reveal rare images and startling facts. Early in January 1941, Dorothy Faye Dunaway was born in the little Florida hamlet of Bascom, the start of an unstoppable life. Dunaway was raised without the idea of a hometown in the conventional sense because she was the daughter of a military officer. Rather, she spent her childhood constantly traveling from various military installations in the United States to the far-off area of post-war Mannheim, Germany. She had a keen inner world, perceptive eyes, and a spirit that was always itching to express itself because of the unpredictability of that life. The early indications of a future great actress. The turbulence of a nomadic childhood followed that young lady into Boston University, where she eventually came to understand the draw of the stage lights. Dunaway took a risk by enrolling as a student at the then-emerging Lincoln Center Repertory Theater in New York, the center of American modern drama at the time, despite being granted the esteemed Fulbright scholarship to study at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art. She played with Jane Alexander, who would go on to become a theatrical icon and the chair of the National Endowment for the Arts when she joined a theater troupe at Harvard's Low Drama Center the summer before her senior year. There, Arthur Miller himself took notice of Dunaway in a performance of The Crucible, which was directed by the renowned Lloyd Richards. For Miller, it was an insightful look at a young, emerging talent. It was Dunaway's first chance to enter the world of her dreams. She starred in A Man for All Seasons on Broadway shortly after graduating. However, her artistic identity was genuinely defined by William Alfred, a Harvard professor, in his passionate drama Hogan's Goat. Alfred was the father figure she never had, serving as both a mentor and a spiritual confidant. Dunaway wrote sincerely in her 1995 memoir, "He taught me about faith, about simple beauty, and how to walk through the chaos of life without losing yourself." The Happening 1967, a crime comedy starring Anthony Quinn, marked Dunaway's cinematic debut. Her modest performance and cool demeanor garnered significant notice, despite the fact that her initial role was not particularly prominent. In actuality, her ability to pique critical interest was unintentionally accentuated by reviewer Roger Ebert's criticism of her facial expressions, a difficult task for a novice. She starred in Otto Preminger's ambitious drama Hurry Sundown that same year. However, it turned out to be a bitter experience, which was not what was anticipated. Tensions between Dunaway and Prenger, who was known for his authoritarian approach, reached a breaking point when she struggled to break a 6-picture contract she had signed. Dunaway made the audacious decision to pay a high price in order to reclaim her freedom to select roles, a decision that would prove crucial to her future. "I never would have had Bonnie and Clyde if I had to make those films," she once stated. In fact, just a year later, Dunaway's portrayal of Bonnie Parker in Bonnie and Clyde 1967 not only propelled her to fame but also signaled a sea change in American filmmaking. The picture became a symbol of the new Hollywood movement because of its bold cutting, rebellious ideas, and most importantly, Dunaway's eerie beauty tinged with deep fragility. Bonnie was more than simply an alluring outlaw. She was a rebellious spirit trapped by a desperate love and a need for escape. Building on her popularity, Dunaway made a lasting impression in The Thomas Crown Affair in 1968. She then had a rare cameo in Little Big Man in 1970. Her choices of characters were always daring, avant-garde, and profoundly contemplative, even if they weren't always well appreciated at the box office. A Downfall Child's Puzzle, 1970. For years, a movie based on model Anne St. Marie's true story was forgotten. Nevertheless, it is evidence of Dunaway's complexity and her steadfast love for the performing arts. Her artistic career peaked in the 1970s. Evelyn Mulry became one of the most nuanced female characters ever depicted on television, Chinatown 1974. Enigmatic, delicate, but strong. Then came Network 1976, where Dunaway won an Academy Award for her portrayal of a tough woman in the television business, Diana Christensen. She was the epitome of knowledge, beauty, and feminine strength during this time, and her career was on the verge of perfection. But isolation was the cost of achieving such heights. Dunaway, who was renowned for requiring complete dedication and seriousness in her work, eventually separated from collaborators. Due in part to her perfectionism and in part to the fact that the film industry was changing and no longer favored actors with strong personalities, she was criticized by numerous directors and colleagues for being challenging to work with. The 1980s saw a slowdown in her career. She subsequently lost major parts and was perceived by the public as challenging or volatile. Her golden years were no longer as brilliant, yet her continued work in television and movies. Her portrayal of Joan Crawford in the 1981 film Mommy Dearest was one of her most heartbreaking blunders. It solidified her reputation as a despotic diva and made her a joke for many viewers rather than a testament to her skill. At one point, Dunaway was praised as one of her generation's most gifted actresses. However, that skill was accompanied by a lot of gossip about her challenging personality, too meticulous nature, and fierce arguments on the set. Jack Nicholson mockingly referred to Dunaway as Dreaded Dunaway, and B. Davis plainly called her one of the worst individuals in Hollywood. When she was denied a break between sequences during the filming of Chinatown 1974, she memorably flung a cup of tea in director Roman Polanski's face. An unplanned gesture that exposed the intensity of her suppressed feelings and the tremendous strain of the film business. Her performance in Mommy Dearest 1981 as Joan Crawford reached the pinnacle of criticism. Despite being viewed as a failure at first, the movie became a camp classic because of its theatrical facial expressions and overdone dialogue. Beneath the dramatic outbursts and thick makeup, however, was an Faye Dunaway gradually losing herself. She acknowledged years later that the part had left her with a severe psychological scar that continued to plague her long after the filming had ended. She had the impression that a ghost was living with her. Instead of being a victorious turning point, it turned into a diversion that caused her career to take a nosedive. Alongside the upheaval in her work, she was engaged in a silent struggle within herself. Dunaway has talked candidly about her battles with drinking and bipolar disorder, two issues that plagued her for many years. Despite medical assistance and medicine, she frequently felt vulnerable and aloof due to episodes of melancholy and mental instability. Andrew Lloyd Webber's 1994 dismissal from the Sunset Boulevard stage production was a severe blow to the pride of a star who had been used to the limelight for a long time. Even though Dunaway embodied strength and enigmatic beauty on television, her private life was equally dramatic off-screen, even contentious. Previously, Dunaway was in a romantic relationship with director Jerry Schatzberg, who not only photographed her face but also depicted a portion of her soul with an enthralling stare. However, Morello Mastroianni of Italy was the source of the romance that made Dunaway's name legendary. Even though he was married, they had a strong, passionate love that lasted for 3 years. In the middle of the chaos of the entertainment industry, Dunaway found solace and security in Mastroianni. However, their love ended gently, leaving a secret scar in the strong woman's spirit, as is the case with all affairs that transgress borders. Dunaway married rock musician Peter Wolf in 1974. The two seemed to be a match made in heaven, music and film. However, the fissures in their personal lives could not be concealed by the stage lights. After only 5 years, Wolf found a sad reality that caused the marriage to fall apart. With British photographer Terry O'Neill, Dunaway had deceived him. The public's perception of Dunaway as a seductive yet perilously sharp lady was further enhanced by the altercation between the three in their shared apartment, which turned into a media sensation. In 1983, she wed O'Neill, and the two of them had a son named Liam. However, the notion of a contented family turned out to be a myth once more. Years later, Terry O'Neill told the media that Liam was adopted, something Dunaway had never recognized in public. It was an aspect of her life that she wanted to keep hidden, a holy secret to her. However, the public was shocked when O'Neill revealed the truth in 2003, and 6-year-old Liam inadvertently became the focal point of an endless controversy. Dunaway never provided a definitive answer. Similar to her eerie portrayal of Joan Crawford in Mommy Dearest, Dunaway kept some secrets hidden in a society that insisted on its star's unrelenting candor. She was a heartbreaker and a victim in love. Unsolved secrets, terrible mistakes, and fateful romances. The off-screen Faye Dunaway was made up of all of these. Contradictory, intricate, and utterly intriguing. Her legacy extends beyond the accolades and cheers. It is found in the change she made to the way women are viewed in movies. Dunaway cleared the path for future generations of actresses, from Meryl Streep to Cate Blanchett, by having the courage to live authentically through feelings both on and off screen. This intensity, which was occasionally challenging to manage, became a crucial component of her artistic persona. Even though she was previously surrounded by scandal and illness, Dunaway never let herself entirely disappear from Hollywood's consciousness. The documentary Faye, which debuted at the Cannes Film Festival in 2024 as a landmark of rebirth, told the story in its most honest and unvarnished form rather than glorifying the mythology. Pain, darkness, impulsive behavior, the struggle with bipolar disease, loneliness, and even mistakes are all depicted in the video without holding back.